Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's Cashflow Digital, where Mike Pierce is not here today again.
It's been a rough week, as you can tell by my background.
The guys are fast running out of cash, and Brad's now working in his home toilet, as you can see there in the background. And Mike's literally.
Yeah, sorry. Due to the late notice, I didn't have time to pick up a little bit before the show. So.
But Rafal is here. But first, again, as always, Fred Hutterson. But you were 3 minutes early, Fred. So does that count? I'm not sure. The Don Yeehaw Amigos. Please tell me how to rank number one. Hi, Mike. How are you? That's got to be Mike, right?
It might be. He does need to know that. So
yeah.
It could be.
Yeah, it's got to be Mike. It's a bad day when you just don't trust anyone, do you? You're just like, that is someone else. Like the amount of guys that message me, they're like, dude, that fucking client that's filled out a contact form on our website, that's you, isn't it? And you're like, nah, dude, like I wouldn't go that
my
far.
Time to do that.
Come on, man. Yeah, but that's the way everyone's got everyone thinking. But the Dawn, we will tell you, no problem. Maeve,
she sets her bar extraordinarily low, so I appreciate that.
If this is entertainment, then yeah.
Are you not entertained?
But good to see you all the same. Rafael is like, oh my God, Brad, don't worry, Rafael. It's cleanable. We can get some Dettol in there. I've PayPal'd them over some money.
The cleaning lady's on her way, so we should be good.
Yeah, just don't breathe in too much in there. You should maybe be sitting with some form of mask on.
It's good because she's been doing it long enough to where the chemicals she can't smell anyway, so she doesn't mind.
Tom Smith is here. Hey. Dirk, gentlemen, Brad looks like a new Saw movie scene. That could be the case.
I'm promoting a new course. It's a real shit stain, but people will buy it. That's all that matters. So.
Oh man. Anyway, before we go into anything, guys, we are quick fire questions because Mike's not here to hold us all back from answering your questions. So give us whatever questions you want. Do check out ODYS up there if you're interested in age domains. And equally, if I haven't already said it, do check out the guys at NFG or minisitetraining.com or mininettraining.com and all that stuff. So you know the drill, guys. Check the guys out, as I'm sure you already have done. But we do have a first question from Mr. Fred Hutterson. I watched the mini sites training that you spoke of last week. Are you still using the Blackwood Productions plugin?
Yeah, I still use it, especially for smaller clients. For larger clients, that have already outgrown that, maybe not. But nfgsecret.com is where we dive deep into how to use that bad boy. If you want to check that out, Fred, for some additional training. It sounds like you've already seen some of it. But yeah, it's solid, especially for if you want to run an agency that you're just trying to get clients in the door and charge them, not much at all. It can be a fantastic agency tool, can be a fantastic PPL tool. It can be, if you're doing content linking, you just need a base of solid links. And yeah, I would suggest it. Did you test the bot?
Is it the nfgseo.com/7?
Yeah, that'll get you 7 free days. Yeah, we actually have a webinar coming up Thursday, whatever day today is. So yeah, you can use that, get in there and check out the webinar. We're gonna be talking about what was it? Offsite clustering, I think, is what Mike's gonna go heavy into. So we went over on-site clustering a few months ago, I'd say. And that's the easiest way to increase your rankings, in my opinion, is to just fix the on-page clustering, on-site clustering. But then if you really want to take it to the next level, you got to go off-site. So kind of, we always talk about using your tier one like you use, treating those like a money site. So we're going into that.
Maeve is also asking, how do I rank number one? I'm
going for an easy keyword.
Yeah, go for a easy keyword with little to no competition.
Mm-hmm.
Always works for
Best
me.
cow milkers in, Summerfield, North Carolina. So
that could work. Live IRL fan is asking, did we test the bots? I personally haven't. I know Holly Starks was going to test the shit out of it, or the piss. I think
that's more than a test for her. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Holly Starks one. So I'm going to sit and see what Holly says of it before I start playing around. But as Mike says, that is a Vietnamese something.
Link farm, right?
Yeah.
Click farm.
Yeah. So that instantly puts me off. I'm not going to lie. But it's not, as I say, I'm not going to try it. I looked at it and thought, fuck this. I'll let someone else try it, and then if they say it's good, I'll buy their training and
that's what I do
on it. That's what I do. It's not a click form; it's an actual bot. But is it? That's the thing. Is it an actual bot, or really is it a click farm? So, how much testing have you done, Live IRL fan, and did it actually give you the desired results? Should I be testing it, or are you looking for me to test it and then say, yeah, it's good? Because I'm looking for Brad to test it, if that's the case.
I won't. I don't test stuff.
But yeah, I've not tried it. But Arla, do you think it's worth building English links to a non-English site? Do you think the juice is different?
No, it's there's multiple. Where you're going to suffer is the relevance, but there's multiple ways to build relevance, right? So if you have an English website pointing to, I don't know, a German page, but you're able to build the relevance either through anchor text. If they're the same thing, Google can tell. If they're the same, it's just English versus German, but they're on the same subject matter, then you can build relevance that way. But yeah, we use that all the time. We also go the other way too, where we're pushing English stuff with foreign domains. So
yeah, a link is a link is a link, as other people say. But yeah,
it just comes down to how do you plan on building relevance for that link to get the most out of it.
That's it, and I'm sure you can come up with creative ways to do that. Paul Hogden has basically said you have copied his bathroom.
Yes.
So
that's where I grew the inspiration. He's got the cocaine lines on the toilet seat, though. So that's the only difference.
So it's probably a little bit cleaner than Paul's, but yeah, it's yeah.
I told you I did a quick cleaning right before this, but with short notice, you can't expect it to be spotless, can you?
Nah, it's clean enough.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah, it's clean enough to sit on, I think.
Yeah.
Sorry, I broke the seat last week. I haven't been able to make it over to Home Depot yet and get a new.
At the front of the seat there.
Yeah, that's where I broke it. Is
that broke? I didn't know if that was a dribble. Like,
no, I'm pretty sure that's a crack. You know what broke it? I can't say on this show because it's a family show. But yeah, I can't find that forest green color. Apparently that went out of style in the 80s. And it's very difficult to find that forest green toilet seat. So if anyone finds one, just shoot me a link to
it. And Paul says he doesn't have the coffee making facilities that Brad does. So clean water, Paul, is all you need on that one.
Clean-ish water.
Yeah, cleanish. I mean, you're boiling it, right? So that gets rid of any germs that are potentially in the water. So it's win-win. And I have a tin, Brad. Whatever the hell a tin is.
I don't know.
But yeah.
I tried to buy a tin hat. My head's pretty large, though, so they didn't fit.
Live IRL fan hasn't got around to testing the bot himself. Currently busy making content and buying meme coins like Baby Dogecoin.
Do they have a baby Doge now?
Man, they just make everything up, eh?
The thing I don't understand is the NFTs. I don't even want to understand them. I'm not getting into it.
I'm not going to lie. I bought a few on an app called the VIVI.
Yeah. How cheap are they?
So you can get them for like, it depends when they drop on a certain day. You can literally get them for like $4.
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, then if you're going to go out and buy them just on the marketplace, they can cost you.
What's the point of buying them on the marketplace?
It depends on so on Vivi you get like rare stuff that's quite hard to come by. Obviously, some of these are going for like there's some of these are actually worth £100,000 and shit like that. Like some
yeah,
of them,
I know, but where's the value where's the value coming from? Is what, like if I go say I don't want to mess with like buying them on the day, but I'm going to buy them like on the open market later on and paying more for them. What benefit am I getting out of buying these for more money?
Because they're potentially going to rise again, so you would just sell them on for more money. So it's a bit like Bitcoin and shit.
Buy high, sell higher type.
Yeah.
You're just praying that they go up.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But they are, because Vivi and stuff, there's not a lot of people doing it, and someone else is just saying Vivi is a pain in the ass. That's just the one I'm playing around with.
Coinbase is a pain in that. Anything crypto, I would assume NFT would be the same, but.
And he's saying it's a pain in the ass to get one, though. It's gone in 0.1 seconds. I'm buying in the hope that they are going up. Everything I have bought has went up a considerable amount so far, but that again equally could drop. So I'm just hoping that this whole NFT thing takes off a lot bigger than it currently is, and I'll get more money.
So is it in lockstep with like with crypto? Because I know crypto was way down yesterday. They came back. It's the same thing with the market. Is it on the same kind of, if crypto's down, are NFTs down at the same time, or is it kind of too new to kind of be current?
I'm not sure, because I know at the moment with Vivi, and bear in mind I'm a complete noob to this, but at the moment you literally can't take your money back out of Vivi just now because they're not aligned to any particular coin or something like that. So we're hoping that whole process happens. So I wouldn't imagine the price would fluctuate based on coins this time, but I think once that process takes place, then it will have to be aligned with the price of the coin. So for now, the answer would be no, but I think it will have to be. But I might be wrong in that. Maybe Ryan could highlight. I basically just got a friend that keeps going on about Vivi, and he's like, "Yeah, man, check this Ghostbusters card. I've got this fucking rare. I bought it for this, and it's fucking worth that."
So you buy it, and that's the only copy, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they sell like 100 copies of them or whatever. It's not like the only one, but yeah, it's mad. It's crazy. And the dude was like, "Yeah, check this out, check that out." And I'm like, "Dude, I'm just going to fucking play for a laugh." And I bought some, I don't know, Spider-Man and shit like that, and some comic books. But yeah, I hadn't done it for a laugh to kind of figure it all out and see what the thing is. I don't like criticizing things without trying it. So Vivi is what I'm playing about with. But as Ryan says, trying to get something on a drop, everything's gone in 0.1 seconds. Yeah. I don't know if these guys are botting this shit or whatever, but it's literally impossible for a douchebag like me to walk in and get.
It would be relatively easy to write one, I would think.
Yeah,
you know what you're doing.
So
it's like back in the day when they had the eBay snipers. People built the bots to like go in and like snipe it. 0.01 seconds left and shit. So you just go in and swipe it last minute.
So I think that's potentially what's happening here. But again, I'm a noob when it comes to that shit. Yeah. But back to normal things. Allah, what language would you put the anchor text in?
Whatever language you're trying to rank, typically. Unless the anchor is, if you're trying to rank for bathroom remodeling and you want to point a bathroom remodeling anchor over to a foreign one that's also about bathroom remodeling, just in a different language, I would say that would be close enough. Otherwise, I'm using market level anchor that I want, that's in the language that I want to rank for, if that makes sense.
Yes, that makes sense. And Paul has come back and said it's a tin, a paint, forest green. So
he's talking about the color then. Yeah.
yeah.
In my other bathroom, I've got a gold-plated toilet seat, so it's a little nicer than this one.
and Live IRL fan saying Baby Dogecoin has more holders than Shiba Inu, whoever Shiba Inu is, and not tied to Bitcoin. It's not in the main exchanges like Binance yet. So yeah, it's not in the main exchanges, so you can't.
He knows his shit with that, huh?
Yeah, and it's going to be more than 10 times by the time Baby Dogecoin is on the main exchanges. Elon will use Baby Dogecoin to compete.
Elon's a sharp dude.
Yes, he is. Ryan saying my only drop, I got a comment Spider-Man uninstalled and flushed my phone down the pisser.
That seems excessive, but I would have done the same, man. Does your toilet look like that?
Yeah. Was it that actual toilet?
Yeah.
And did you kick
that? This is actually the toilet that everyone goes to flush their phone down after they've purchased their first NFT.
That's the toilet for that. Aaron Semenoff, how do you suggest doing topic cluster silos for e-commerce sites? Do you drive support and content to the category pages, Brad?
What I do with where we've had tremendous success with e-com, we don't do a ton of e-com by ourselves, but we've had quite a few clients come through. We'll just set up just the blog roll is our primary focus on that. So what we'll do is we took a hair supplement company from 8,000 gross revenue through Google search to I think they were within the 7 months, they were up to like 120,000 through Google search. All we did there was content and linking. Primarily, a huge chunk of that came from an article we ranked for biotin for hair. So people were searching for biotin for hair because that's the main supplement that you can take for hair growth or hair stimulation, whatever you want to call it. And so biotin for hair, everyone came to there. So we got that ranking, and after we got that ranking, the sales weren't where we wanted them to be. So I suggested having their crew put together banners. So essentially you're generating a banner ad for your own site, and it drives this was a hair supplement company with one product. Well, two actually. One came in a pink bottle, one came in a blue bottle, exact same formula. One was for men, one was for women. So we sent them over to one of those two product pages from there. So you can send them to a category page if you want, if it makes sense. Like if you had a number of hair care products or hair care supplements, and you couldn't really specify based on the specific article content where the person would ultimately want to go, send them to category. Otherwise, I'm sending them directly to the buy page or the sales page for the product. And I hate that like BigCommerce and Shopify and all that shit have the basic fucking checkout page. I like more of the ClickFunnels where I'm selling shit and all that stuff. So if I had the ability to set it up like that, then that's where I'm sending them to get them to buy from there. Send them to a funnel,
Yeah.
If you send them to a funnel as opposed to a traditional Shopify style cart, then you're going to be able to upsell the piss out of them, get them into maybe a continuity program where you're recurring billing them, all that. You want to squeeze as much. If your product is good, you want to get them to buy as much as possible, because theoretically, the more that they buy, the more that your company can benefit them. That's kind of the thought process behind that. But yeah, that's what I do. Just focus on your content linking, focus on getting the traffic, then focus on directing that traffic wherever you're going to be the most profitable at that point.
Yeah, I think that makes perfect sense. Paul Hogden, a guy I know who's been making good progress writing content, getting good backlinks, then his site has started going backwards. I noticed a bunch of bad links to images, suggested he disavows. any other ideas? So
yeah, it could the backlinks could be throwing the site off topic. So yeah, I would probably go ahead and disavow and keep building, decent links. I would also look at the internal structure of the site, because once you get to a certain point, it's harder to manage, and your topic clusters might be getting off tilt, and then that combined with the shittier links. But the shittier links really shouldn't affect it too much, but it's not going to hurt to disavow.
Yeah, no, I think always people debate whether disavowing works or not. I've certainly seen massive increases when I've disavowed stuff on stuff, so I believe it works. So I think that's good, solid advice personally. But yeah, that is pretty much all you can do, Paul. Just to try and get better backlinks. Obviously, if you're noticing a bunch of bad backlinks to images, disavow and just try and get stronger backlinks. Just try and build the authority and topical relevance and everything else that you can building backlinks. But Live IRL fan goes on to say he's put 2.5k into Dogecoin and he's 2 times up so far in a bear market. People flock to meme coins and shit coins when there's a bear market. The bottom for Bitcoin will be 17k in a few weeks.
Possible. Curious to see what the Fed speaks. It's today, Tuesday, tomorrow. So I think the stock market in general will. It depends a lot on that, whether it goes up or down tomorrow. So, and from what I've seen, the crypto has been pretty in line. Like if you have a down day in crypto, you're having a down day in equities as well. So
there you go. And our lies chucking in some stuff there as well. But going back to other stuff, 139 is asking any advice for printable or instant download products. Thanks. I think advice in what regard? Like
I think probably SEO for a site that's doing printable instant.
Yeah,
I would assume.
But SEO is SEO, regardless of.
It's just like with the e-com stuff,
Yeah,
I'd run it the exact same way.
It's the same way, like that, because of the product is instantly downloadable or printable. Everything else is still, got to be in line, do good content, good backlinks, try and get people onto to, like Brad says, potentially a funnel page or whatever. Try and send them to where you can make money.
And then you bring up Mike's favorite word, which is pixel. I would assume in that market, you very much need to be following these guys around. After you get them to hit your site based on the page, that's when you really need to be hammering home your funnels.
Is the word pixeling the shit out of them?
Pixeling the shit out of them, yeah. I think it's a phrase. Yeah, it's not one word.
So I'm just curious what pixeling the shit out of someone actually.
I just means following around after they hit your site. You pixel them once, and then you follow them around like the creepy uncle at a Christmas party.
That makes sense. I wanted you to say it in a more sensible way that these guys or other people who are watching might not understand. But yeah, you're the creepy uncle following them around. Ryan, if you use WordPress or Elementor, where do you get your website templates from? I use the Template plugin, but I don't find it the greatest. I'm probably not best. I've got people that do that stuff.
If you're looking for templates, themeforest.net is always a good resource. So I'm sure they have some Elementor. I know I bought some, not specifically looking for that. That's what they were built in. So,
and Paul's saying ThemeForest.
He said ThemeForest, yeah.
But Elementor have some good kits themselves.
I love a good theme. If it's easy, I hate when you never know what you're going to get when you buy a theme. Something that should take like 10 minutes takes 2 days. Sucks.
Yeah. Nah, I normally leave that shit to someone that actually knows what they're doing. Fuck that. I hate messing around with that shit. But Allah, what spinners do you use? So are you using any spinners?
If I'm running like a SERP Shaker campaign or anything like that, I'll use Spin Rewriter. Otherwise, you can use Quillbot, but I've noticed I see a lot of people complaining about indexation, especially recently, and I think it's from from all the like someone spinning the same article over and over, like everyone's spinning the same article with like Quillbot or something. So I'd be careful there. But Spin Rewriter generates enough variations. I just like Quillbot reads so much better when you spin it. So if you can use Quillbot and then run it through something to make sure that you're not you're passing copyscape and everything, then you're good. But otherwise, Spin Rewriter is the easiest and quickest, to be honest. I'll run an article through Cognitive to get the keywords from there, and then throw those into the negative keyword list, the do not change list or whatever they call it, in Spin Rewriter. So then if the original article passed the Cognitive, run through, then it should pass all the other spun ones should pass in.
So hopefully that helps you. Paul Hogden saying he prefers making his own using Oxygen, RProcessor, Astra Starter templates for Elementor, and Generate Press templates at the moment. So yeah, hopefully
a lot of suggestions. Yeah,
one of those suggestions help. Now I've got a question for you, Brad. Obviously, you guys have done a lot of GMB stuff in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Have you? It's a term that I used. I'm not sure if it was this show or another one, but have you ever used the term tickle the GMB?
No, I haven't. That's not for me. I do spray and pray a lot, but I don't do tickle the GMB.
I've used tickle the GMB, but I didn't know if I stole it from someone or I just made it up myself.
What is tickling the GMB?
Just giving a little tickle, just give it a bit of engagement, a little touch, a little feel.
What do you do though specifically when you're tickling it?
I'm tickling it with phones, so doing some searches with phones and stuff like that, or whatever.
But so it's primarily traffic then.
Traffic, yeah, that would be the main one. I'm giving it a little tickle with. I'm not a huge fan of doing crazy things like sending links to it and stuff like that. So CTR, just giving it a little tickle, whether that's CTR booster, whether that's using phones, whether that's using whatever, that is giving it a tickle for me. But I know our processor liked it when I said that, or laughed at it, should I say, when I say give the GMB a little tickle. So that is what it means. I'm just curious if you guys came up with something like that.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, it was me then. I'm taking full credit. So
you should. You should rank for GMB tickling.
I'm going to do that. Actually,
put that in the title of this video after we conclude it. GMB tickling.
GMB tickling. Yeah, I'll do that. So we'll see how quickly it can rank.
Oh, it'll rank. Yeah.
So yeah, there can't be too many people using GMB tickling. But our lad's asking, talking about Word AI, is that one that you've used in the past?
He asked me what I use, and I told him.
So there you go. Word AI.
No, I'm just fucking with him. But yeah, I've never used it. I use Spin Rewriter. That's it. We use Spin Rewriter or what's the other? Quillbot. I've never used Word AI. Back when I was getting into SEO, I could choose between Spin Rewriter and Word AI, and there were a few others out there. Word AI was way more expensive from what I remember, so I went with Spin Rewriter, and I've had an annual rebuild on for 10 plus years. So
it's these guys are cheapskates, so they're looking for the cheap stuff, and sometimes the cheap stuff's the good stuff. So
yeah, ladies,
yeah. Live IRL fan, what is the best AI for producing articles? Because there is a lot of cash cow YouTube channels that seem to be using AI to write the script and then pay someone in Fiverr to narrate and edit.
You have to figure out how to kind of tweak it, but I would say Jarvis, right?
Yeah, Jarvis has options for that shit. So I mean, I'm not going to lie, and obviously Allah asks a bit of a question. Do you prefer spinned or AI content?
It's about the same. to be honest.
But, you know, I think, you know, there's certain things that you would use this stuff on. Certainly, you know, I'm not a huge fan of AI in general. I just don't think that it's good enough. I mean, I think Quillbot does a good job and stuff like that, but certainly for main money pages and stuff, I would rather just get someone to write it.
And from a spun perspective, I know everyone hates on spinning stuff. I've got national level keywords ranking with spun content right now that I just did, you know, within the past month or two. Rehab terms, national level keywords. So
and it was the tools that you just mentioned.
Spin Rewriter, yeah, 100%.
Spin Rewriter and potentially Quillbot.
Yeah, this one was Spin Rewriter, straight up. So
Spin Rewriter.
Spin Rewriter, the way I described it, you know, a minute or two ago, and threw it up there. I mean, you're taking an article or two, mashing them together, throwing them through Spin Rewriter, using that with cognitive. I mean, you've got a pretty solid article. So
I like these. It's just for links. So yeah, for shit like that, that's fine.
Yeah.
You'll give some douchebag whatever.
For links, all you got to worry about is it getting indexed. Is it going to get indexed? Is all I give a shit about for the most part.
But Honey, how are you, Honey? Should I use subdomains as PBN using reverse proxy?
I would probably just keep it on the root, just to keep it simple. I do have the, I think we cover this in Mininet training, but the 08 method utilizes a bunch of subdomains, but it's for a different, you know, different method. The 08 method is funny because we call it that because it's shit from 08 that still works. It's just tweet. You basically what you do is you set up the root the way you want it to. So say your root domain is your PBN, right? Or your Mininet. So it's themed and everything, and you've built it out, and you want to provide some extra oomph to your link building. So what you do is you use, by this time, you have your keyword research done. You know the supporting terms for your website, right? So you go out and you create a separate subdomain for each one of those terms, right? You interlink all of those, just in the sidebar is fine. And then also in the sidebar, you're linking back to the root domain, typically the homepage of the root domain, right? Because that's where you're going to link from, because that's where all your links go anyway, in the traditional, expire domain PBN route. So you've got all of those, you link to them. I typically don't link back out to them from the root. It's just a one-way. So it's a big ass link wheel linking back to the root domain. And then the problem that you're going to run into, you build out each subdomain. I use like a mass page builder. Use SERP Shaker. It doesn't matter. You just want these subs to get indexed. So then in order to get them indexed, what you're going to do is you're going to go out and buy some like high trust flow comments from Fiverr or whatever, something that's on the edge of dangerous, but not too dangerous. If you want to use niche edits, you can, but it gets more expensive that way. Then you want to hit, 1 gig will do, because you've only got like 4 to 6 subdomains, pointing back to the root. You go out and you build your tiers to those subdomains. That'll help kickstart the indexing on that. And that makes all the links that you're sending out from the root domain of your PBN that much more powerful. So hard for me to describe without drawing it out, but yeah, everyone should get the idea.
Yep, hopefully you do.
And it doesn't take too long to set up.
Randy Rodé is here. He's late to the party.
Good.
Randy, you must consume a serious amount of SEO content.
Randy is never late to the party because he is the party.
Yeah, I'll go along with that.
Yeah.
Also, just for anyone else, I mentioned it earlier in a different private mastermind. I was going through a particular marketplace, People Per Hour, yesterday, just scrolling through it, seeing what shit was on there. And there was a dude selling links under Randy's name, with his headshot, his business name, the whole lot on there. So be very careful what you're buying, guys.
You found my listing, huh?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah.
So Brad, you need to stop using Randy's face.
I'm gonna change it. It's going to be his face, but just a mustache, like photoshopped on.
Could be his face on that toilet.
Yeah, I'm gonna add an O, so it's Randy Rodeo.
Yeah, that sounds better. Randy Rodeo just seems a bit shitty. It's like an unfinished name.
Yeah.
So yeah, Randy, you need to sort that name out
Randy
as well.
Rodeo.
Rodeo is the way. I can't even remember. I think I had Randy on a podcast ages ago, and I think I said his name all wrong. I had no idea what the hell that said.
I would say Road.
Road.
That's just me.
That was Road. Road. I said he went, it's Rodeo, Craig, in that American accent. I'm like, fuck.
I'm just an uncivilized American, though. So, as you can see by my set.
ZD Electrical, how are you?
Yep.
But our processor is also saying he never get anything out of Jarvis. I didn't have time to. I didn't have to spend time rewriting. Quillbot is always readable. Quillbot for me, just you look at it and you make the assumption that it's going to chuck out some shit. Quillbot is probably the one.
Yeah, it's solid. But Quillbot is the one. They change it just enough to be different, but sometimes not enough to be unique enough to be indexed from what I found. So just be careful with Quillbot from that perspective. But I mean, if it's indexing fine, then you're good. So
that's it. If it's working, stick with it. If it's not,
move on.
Strategy slightly. I love Article Forge.
I haven't heard that in forever. Have they improved it? I assume they would have. It used to pump out like the Serpex type content, but if it's better now, I heard they came out with the 2.0, but I never tested it.
That's the thing, and I've been bad for this, and I've said it again in several different shows. You can't be ignorant to something that you thought was shit before, because these tools do evolve, and it is sometimes worthwhile going back to check some of these things, because I've been ignorant a few times, then I've went back and I've been like, dude, man, why is no one bloody giving me a shake and told me to get my ass out and try these things again? So there you go, Mr. William Jonesy, make money in the Philippines. Great info as always. How are you, Jonesy? Hope all is well over in the Philippines.
Is he ranking for make money in the Philippines yet?
I don't know. Are you ranking for make money in the Philippines, Jonesy? That is the question we've got for you. But guys, if you do have questions as well, please do put them in the live chat. We have 20 odd minutes left.
That's about how much time Mike usually fills up. So
and also make sure you do give us a little like on the video. If you can. Randy goes on to talk about we use Article Forge for all our guest post content. So
I'll have to check it out again.
And are you, Randy, what kind of indexing, are you getting any problems with them getting indexed at all? Just out of curiosity, or is that passing most of the time? That's a good shout. We spend a lot of money. I've got a link building service and stuff like that for guest posts, and it's writers, and as I'm sure many of us do, we always have problems with the writers. Eventually, they just get sloppy, really shitty. So
I've noticed with writers, they either get like that, or they want you to start paying double or triple what you agreed on.
Well, yeah. That is the other side of it.
Not to offend any writers out there, but in my head, I'm like, oh, you think I need you? And I'm, move on. I just stopped calling them. So.
And Jonesy says he's going to rank for Make Money in the Philippines very soon.
He's on it.
Which I have no doubt about. Jonesy is absolutely killing it with his YouTube stuff. And yeah, he's doing it for some solid keywords as well. So I'm pretty sure Make Money in the Philippines should be a doddle for what Jonesy's doing. So he's doing it for local SEO. He's doing it for all sorts. So check him out, guys. Jonesy's got a lot of information out there, so do check him out if you're interested in that stuff. Our Processor, best CTR service software in your opinion? There's always going to be debate on this one, but Brad, I know you were talking about going back to have a look at
Yeah, I'm testing CTR Booster. I need to freaking fire it up again. Every time you restart your computer, you guys start it again. I need to set it up on a VPS or something. I've got the proxies that they suggested. I just need to kick it back in. The one thing I didn't like about that, though, is, of course, as you know, is for my spam listings, the map listings, they do require you to put in a URL. I have no URL, because I don't have a website in there, and I'm not going to risk putting it in there if it's addiction treatment. It's like water damage. As soon as you make a change, it's going to get, suspended. So even in that niche, even with the business sites, I've seen people put in business sites and suspended automatically, so I do not make changes once those are up, and that's my biggest complaint about CTRB. I've heard people are getting good results out of it otherwise, though.
Randy's also saying an old one, Epic Traffic Bot Pro. That Epic Traffic Bot I've not used for a number of years. That did do a solid job years ago, though. But
also for CTRB, I would like to see them, since they've made a bunch of updates and stuff like that, start fresh with their tutorial videos, because they're showing like old tutorial videos and shit like that. I would like to see a new case study, a new walkthrough, step by step. Okay, here's what you're going to do for a local campaign. Here's what you're going to do for a national campaign, GMB campaign. And walk all the way through every one, and that would be a good thing to put out there. Maybe someone like Chris Palmer could put out a free or almost free course on using CTRB and just get the affiliate income off of CTRB.
Yeah, that could work. But also, software, the best out there. I'm going to be honest, I have literally spent a lot of time and a lot of money playing around with a whole bunch of different stuff, SERP clicks, everything. And I'm not going to lie, there's nothing out there that stands out that's actually worked that well for me. Jonesy's saying Agency Assassin is fire. I know Mark Slorence, who might or might not be watching just now, is trialing Agency Assassin based on, I think Jonesy mentioned that last week or whatever. So I do know someone trying that, but I have literally tried so many of the softwares and the different things. And
it seems like most of them work for a little while, then they stop.
Yeah. And that also goes for, micro workers and stuff like that. You can only use that to a certain degree depending on what you're doing. So Agency Assassin's one to look at, but I don't think there's anything out there, RProcessor, that's outrageously good that everyone's using that I've personally, happy to put my name to. So hopefully that helps. Brian, Randy, how does Article Forge do for main content for Foundation, then flesh it out manually? So Randy's basically said, depends on what you're wanting to do as well, but Zeno Poster is really strong.
I think that's for the click-through.
Yeah, that's for click-through. Jonesy, you're a guy, you're obviously using Agency Assassin. Do you do YouTube training at all, Jonesy, and tell the actual stuff that you're actually doing? Because that would be something I'd be interested in seeing what other people are doing in terms of YouTube. Like I do embeds and all the other stuff that you're probably doing. I've tried the likes of Viper and I've tried everything else out there. And I know there's a weird thing that you're doing that I'm missing out on. And
how much would you pay to find out that weird thing, Craig?
Whatever Jonesy says, I want to know what that weird thing is. Is essentially what I'm
show me your weird thing, and I'll give you a
show me your weird thing, Jonesy. That because a few people like that are not regulars in here are like, what the fuck is that guy doing? And I'm like, dude, I don't know if he sells training and stuff like that. So he's doing a case study with Agency Assassin. I've looked at Jonesy a few times. I'm looking at what he's doing, and yeah, he's doing a solid job. But there's something I think I'm missing from the mix that Jonesy's doing that I don't expect him to just fucking say this is what I'm doing. But there is some motherfucking thing, and I can't figure it out. And I've looked and looked and looked and looked and looked. Jonesy, please fucking release it sometime soon, because I would pay some decent money for it. And a live demo in class on Wednesday. So there you go. Jonesy is sharing knowledge. CTLT 1878. Craig, can you please share the times and frequency of the calls in the Mastermind? Probably doing 3-hourly sessions a week, normally on a Monday.
That's a lot for the price, for sure.
Yeah. Monday, Tuesday, and a Thursday. Mainly, I'm doing 3 p.m. Or between 3 and 4 p.m. on those days. The Thursday, I definitely do at 3 p.m. so it doesn't clash with Chris Palmer's show. But I think, probably 3 or 4 sessions a week I'm doing. I've done a Q&A session as well on Monday, just for there's a different range of people in the Mastermind. So obviously there's some newer guys, and it's good for to basically just let them pick your brains as well. So that is the kind
people
of
should hop in that just for that case study that you were talking about last week or the week before.
Yeah, I'm doing a live affiliate case study and stuff, and as I say, that's something I'm just getting the few tweaks done to the site, getting some content slapped up, but then I'm going to obviously document the journey from there. But yeah, that's the kind of frequency. So but it is always on there. I try and schedule it. Like this week, I'll put out next week's stuff, just in case there is any time changes. But it's all on there under events if you're in there. So hopefully that helps. But Jonesy is doing stuff only for GMB.
The Wednesday walkthrough would probably only be for GMB. And
no worries, TLT. What I'd also add, guy, by the way, and I don't want to make this a Craig Campbell Mastermind fucking sales pitch, but everything is recorded. So even if you can't make it, you will get the recording. You might not be able to participate in the conversation, but yeah, it's that's how it works. But YouTube is a whole other gamut of tricks to grow and rank, etc. And you're doing a grand job. And I know you've tested a lot of stuff, William, on that stuff with YouTube, but it's just a pain in the ass because the goals seem to move slightly all the time. But yeah, you're doing a solid job. So hats off to you, mate. But guys, we do have probably about 10, 11, 12 minutes left. So please do put your questions in the chat. Please do like the video. Do check out Jonesy.
Otherwise, we're just going to sit here and change backgrounds.
Yeah. You don't want to see the other backgrounds that Brad's got.
I can bring it up. You don't want to see it.
I'm sure that one's fine. Believe me, this one's probably better than the other one. But so we're playing around with backgrounds. That brick wall.
I'd be like if you were boxing me, Craig.
Yeah.
Like you're running into the
I'd be the brick wall and you'd be punching and just it would do no damage.
I'd blow through you like the Kool-Aid man.
No chance. Not a fucking chance. William, that is his own personal toilet in the house. Cleaner's not been round at the weekend. She had the weekend off, so he's let himself slip. But I think if you're doing NFG later on this year, I'm going to come and beat your ass. It's just simple as that. And yeah, I have to get there this time. But Tom Smith.
We'll see what variant is out, because Delta stopped it last time, right? Wasn't that the issue?
Yeah, I think so. Well, we couldn't just get to it. We just couldn't fucking the government, the UK government. No, it's your government weren't letting people in. So I'm not sure.
I called Joe.
Yeah, you called Joe up. Don't let him in.
I woke him up. So, Joe.
Yeah, this is a good question first before we go to Tom Smith. What are the guys looking at in the table, Brad?
Me.
Yeah. Is it you they're looking at?
Yeah.
Come on, man. Anyway, Tom, his site got hit in the December 2020 update, went from position 1 to 2 for most terms to page 2 or 3, and stayed there ever since. Working on it, hit with some high quality links over time. Nothing has moved.
I would look at the internal clusters on that and how you've got it grouped. Throw it through on crawl and fix everything in there. go through your site with Keyword Cupid and make sure you're clustering it correctly, because I would assume that it's an internal clustering issue. Maybe build more supports around the terms that dropped would be another one. That's what I would do. I assume it's a content issue and not being fleshed out enough.
Yeah, fleshed out enough, but also the intent. I think a lot of websites that had commercial intent, solely commercial intent, were slammed, and at that point, and that I'm not, obviously it's a medical thing. It could be one or the other, but a lot of websites were just slammed because it was just commercial content, just spammy, the best this, the best that, blah 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 blah. But in that niche, Brad, he's obviously saying he's now considering not being careful anymore and starting to hit it real hard with links.
That just costs money. I would cheapest solution first. I would look at the clustering.
So it's, yeah, you want to do the best you can and try and keep your link costs to a minimum. You don't want to be overly reliant on links. As such, of course, you're always going to need them. But I think Brad's right. Make sure everything else is on point first, and make sure that
go through a few of the pages that dropped with cognitive for your main keyword too. And if you need me to get that list for you, shoot it over to me. Figure out how to find me. I'm not track me down and throw me the URL and the primary keyword, and I can run it through Cog at some point too. A lot of times, just going through it with cognitive, recrawling it with Search Console, and it'll pop back up. Your market could have shifted slightly. So I would look at did everyone that was ranking drop around the same time? Is there a new top 10? Basically, are you going to have to adjust to that new top 10?
Hopefully that helps you guys. CTLT. I've used Holly's Blast to get my site up and running. I've gone to a DR18, still zero traffic though. Posts yo-yo in and out of the index. Assume I need to optimize the content, POP, and work on the quality for sure.
That's another clustering issue, I think.
It's but I think you've got to optimize no matter what. You can't just sit there and let the traffic come. You've got to look at POP and everything, and make sure that is on point and it does match the other guys that are in the top 10 search results, but also using Keyword Cupid and everything, sort everything else out as well. So the blast, getting a blast done when your site's relatively new, I wouldn't have been bothered by that at that point. Just to be perfectly honest, nothing against Holly's blast or anything, but I just think make sure that the on page and everything else, the quality's there first and foremost, and then give it a blast. I would have done it back to front, but either way works. Just go in and optimize the content and do everything else that you should be doing for good on-page SEO, and see what happens from there. But he's done the PR blast, not the OR blast. So the PR blast from Holly, which is not, it's not necessarily you can do it that way. You just got to go in and do the other side of it. So it's but I've got a thing I want to ask before anyone else jumps in with a question. So Brad, you and Mike talk about COG all the time. COG this, COG that, and it makes me want to fucking try it. Now, I did sign up for a free trial, and I never get round to fucking using it. What the fuck are you guys doing in COG? What is so good?
The content assistant.
The content assistant.
Yeah, you basically run it for a keyword, run a keyword check or whatever. So if it's, drug rehab, California, and then it pulls all the supporting keywords and stuff. But then you go in and you essentially run your page or a competitor's page, whatever, through the content check on it. And it'll give you a score, and it says, okay, it's 0 to 100. And it says, in order to rank in the top 10, you need a score of 88, or depending on your competition in the top 10, it may be like 92 or whatever it might be. Lower competition is going to be like in the 70s. It's easy to get it past that point. You just want your score when you put it through there to be above that, and then get it to reindex. So it just gives you supporting on-page topics that you need to mention. So for
Cool.
drug rehab, it might be, inpatient, dual diagnosis, heroin, opioid, inpatient opioid treatment, California, anything like, depending on your specific keyword that you're trying to rank for, it's getting all of the phrases that you need to have on there. And that's how you vastly expand your keyword set, because you're going to go from targeting a very minor or very small keyword set and expanding that out. And that's going to help boost for your primary keyword as well.
So you obviously use that and it clearly works very well for you guys, but other people use Page Optimizer Pro, Surfer.
It's different though. It's different than Pop. Pop is more of a structural. So Pop is like the structure of the page. So how many H2s, how many H1s, how many bolds, how many italic, how many this, how many that. It will do to a very small extent what Cog does. It'll give you the supporting keywords, and basically all they do is look at the top 10 or 20 or whatever, and see what pages, what words are bolded, and they're the ones that's the most relevant in Google's eyes. That's how Pop does their kind of Cog portion of it. But then, of course, Pop gives you most of the basics. You want your primary keyword in the URL. You want your primary keyword in the title, the H1, H2, all of those. Where Cognitive gives you the supporting keyword. So if you can easily use Pop and Cog together. Like if you need to de-optimize from a Pop perspective, you grab the keywords that you don't yet have from the Cog list, and you throw those in to help de-optimize in Page Optimizer Pro. So
that's just curious to know. I got it, and then I'm just like, I've got Cog and I got the trial, and I'm like, I don't even know what these fucking guys use it for. So
I'll bring it up. You go into I'll just run it again. I'm not gonna share my screen because I don't want to show shit. But you go in there, you go to content optimization tool. So if you want to rank for like detox California or something, you put it through there, and you go to the content optimizer, and then the what's it called? It's making me go directly through it. I'll just type in drug rehab. I just click on it without even knowing what the button says anymore. I don't want to confuse people. So on the left-hand side, you go over to content optimizer and keyword tool. You click that. You put in your primary keyword. It'll give you all this keyword data, which I don't care about. Then you go over to content assistant, which is a different tab, and then start optimizing your content is the only way that I use that tool. And I use the start optimizing your content, and I throw my domain in there, and that's where I generate the list of keywords. That it'll give you a list of keywords that you already use. It'll give you a list of keywords that you should use. It'll give you a list of keywords that you should use more often. And it also, this never comes up, but if you're using the piss out of like a certain keyword over and over, it'll let you know, hey, back off of that one or this list a little bit. So
interesting, because I think obviously when you look at these tools and people talk about different things, you're just like, man, what's the benefit of that? Because SEMrush has got like a content SEO content template, but I'm not sure how deep and accurate that is. So if Cog's doing a really good job of that and you're seeing good results, then
it's supporting keywords. What else do I need on this page to help support the theme of that specific page? Back in the day, Jimmy Kelly called it statistically improbable phrases. Like what terms on there is someone that really knows what they're fucking talking about? What terms are those people going to use on their page? So you can't just use a spun turd. I use it if I'm selling a client. I use the term statistically improbable phrases all the time because it sounds really fancy.
Yeah, I might steal that myself as well.
SIPs.
It's
proprietary is another word that you can use. We use our proprietary content scoring system to develop a list of specific statistically improbable phrases to best support your primary keywords. You know, spit something like that out there, like, oh, this guy's a fucking computer nerd and he knows his shit, and I'll give him money.
It's the other one that I shared with a couple of friends, SEO friends, was domain buoyancy. I like that.
Yeah.
It was they went, domain buoyancy. That's a fucking good one. So yeah, I love that shit. So I'm going to take note of that as well. Just when you can throw them out there, it does make you sound if you know what the hell you're doing, which is always.
Well, at that point, statistically improbable phrase itself becomes a statistically improbable phrase from an SEO. You know, if you're trying to rank for an SEO term, maybe statistically improbable phrase is a statistically improbable phrase. You know.
But one last question: is that a statistically improbable phrase on your T-shirt? Do you think you can go the distance with me in the ring?
I don't have to.
I don't think it's possible.
I don't have to. It'll be over quick. It'll be over as quick as I want it to be honest.
Oh, man. Guys, just warming you up for the big fight. If NFG does go ahead later this year, we'll just start the banter already. We'll just draw it out for like 9 months. Why not?
So we'll just do a one-day event and have everyone come over and see me whoop your ass afterwards. So
that's not going to happen. But someone needs to run a book. Randy Rodé looks like a book guy.
I thought Mike was supposed to be the bookie, but I'm not sure if he can count. So
I'm not sure. Yeah, half the money.
Where'd Mike go? He's gone. Yeah.
But on that note, we are out of time, guys. Hopefully you have enjoyed the content. You mentioned, Brad, something about a webinar. Is that this Thursday?
Yeah, this Thursday, nfgseo.com/7. You can get a free trial to it. If you're already a member, then you know where to go. Lesson 91, I think, is where the sign-up link is once you get in there. So
Lesson 91, people. So do check that out if you want more information from the guys on the Blackwood production stuff or anything else that's in there. Check it out. And thank you, Arla, Randy, and everyone else. Do check out ODYS.
I got to be careful where I point.
But yeah, catch you later, everyone. We'll hopefully have Mike back next week. And yeah, I'll be back tomorrow with Chris Palmer anyway for even more chit chat about SEO. So catch you then.